Have you ever found yourself caught in a juicy conversation about someone who isn't there? Or maybe you've been on the receiving end of whispers and rumors. Let's be honest, gossip is everywhere. From office break rooms to family gatherings to our group chats, it's a fundamental part of how we interact. But have you ever stopped to wonder why? Why are we so drawn to talking about others? Is it just a mean-spirited habit, or is there something deeper going on? Today, we're diving headfirst into the fascinating psychology of gossip. We'll uncover why we do it, what it does to our brains, and how this age-old practice has shaped human society. By the end of this video, you might see that little whisper in a whole new light. First, let's define what we're talking about. Psychologists generally define gossip as talking about someone who isn't present, and it often involves sharing information that is unconfirmed or private. Now, the word gossip immediately brings negative images to mind, right? We think of backstabbing, rumor-mongering, and social exclusion. And yes, that's definitely the dark side of it. But researchers argue that gossip is much more nuanced. Not all gossip is malicious. Sometimes it can be neutral, like sharing that a coworker is getting a promotion, or even positive, like praising someone's recent accomplishment behind their back. The key element is that it is a conversation about a third party who isn't there to hear it. It's this triangle of communication, the person you're talking to, and the person you're talking about, that makes gossip so unique and powerful. So with that in mind, let's explore the big question. Why are our brains so hardwired for it? Believe it or not, the roots of gossip may go back to our earliest ancestors. Evolutionary psychologist Robin Dunbar famously proposed that language itself evolved to facilitate a more efficient form of social grooming. Primates, like chimpanzees, spend a huge amount of time physically grooming each other, picking bugs and dirt from their fur. This isn't just about hygiene. It's a crucial way they build trust, form alliances, and maintain social bonds. But as human group sizes grew, physically grooming everyone became impossible. Imagine trying to pick nits out of the hair of 150 people. Dunbar's theory is that gossip became our vocal grooming. It allowed us to service our social relationships, keep track of who's who, who's trustworthy, and who's a cheater on a much larger scale. Talking about others allowed us to share vital social information, maintain group cohesion, and enforce social norms, all without needing to be in direct physical contact. It was a survival tool. Now let's fast forward to today and look at what happens in our brains when we gossip. When we hear a juicy piece of information, especially about someone we know, our brains light up. Areas associated with social cognition and pleasure, like the prefrontal cortex and the reward system, become highly active. Sharing this information with someone else can trigger a release of oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. This creates a feeling of closeness and trust with the person we're gossiping with. We feel like we're part of an exclusive in-group, sharing a secret. It's a powerful social glue. This chemical cocktail of pleasure and bonding is what makes gossip feel so good and, frankly, so addictive. We get a little neurochemical reward every time we participate, which reinforces the behavior and makes us want to do it again. So we know it can feel good, but what psychological needs does gossip actually fulfill? There are quite a few. First, there's the need for information. We are social creatures, and our success and survival depend on navigating complex social landscapes. Gossip is like a crowdsourced social map. It tells us about the power dynamics in our workplace, the stability of our friend's relationship, or the reliability of a new neighbor. It helps us understand the unwritten rules of our community and who to trust or avoid. This information reduces uncertainty and helps us make better social decisions. It's a way of keeping our finger on the pulse of our social world. Another major driver is social comparison. We constantly, and often subconsciously, evaluate ourselves by comparing ourselves to others. Gossip is a prime vehicle for this. When we hear about someone else's misfortune, a mistake at work, a messy breakup, it can trigger what psychologists call downward social comparison. It can, unfortunately, make us feel better about our own lives and choices. It's not the most noble human trait, but that little ego boost is a powerful motivator. Conversely, hearing about someone's success can lead to upward social comparison, which can either inspire us to do better, or in some cases, fuel feelings of envy and resentment, which in turn can lead to more negative gossip. And of course, there's the big one: social influence and enforcement of norms. Gossip is a powerful tool for policing behavior within a group. When we talk about someone who broke a social rule, they were rude, they cheated, they didn't pull their weight on a project, we are reinforcing what is and isn't acceptable behavior. The threat of being the subject of negative gossip can be a strong deterrent, encouraging people to conform to group norms and cooperate. In this sense, gossip acts as an informal justice system. It warns others about rule breakers and can lead to their social exclusion, which, in our evolutionary past, could have been a death sentence. It asks the group its way of protecting itself from selfish individuals who might undermine its stability. But let's be real, not all gossip serves some higher evolutionary or social purpose. Sometimes it's just about entertainment. Our lives can be routine, and hearing or sharing a dramatic story about someone else adds a little spice, a little drama. It's like a real-life soap opera, and we're both the audience and the commentators. It breaks the monotony and gives us something exciting to talk about. And let's not forget the role of boredom. When we're understimulated, our minds can wander to the lives of others simply because it's more interesting than our immediate reality. It's a form of escapism. Now, we have to talk about the dark side. While gossip can bond, it can also bully. Malicious gossip, spreading lies, or sharing humiliating information can have devastating consequences for the target. It can destroy reputations, end friendships, and cause immense psychological distress, leading to anxiety, depression, and social isolation. The feeling of being talked about behind your back, of not knowing who you can trust, is incredibly painful. This is where gossip crosses the line from a social tool to a weapon. It's often used by individuals to gain social status, damage a rival, or exert control over others. This type of gossip is driven by insecurity, jealousy, and a need for power. So, how can we navigate this complex world of gossip? It's unrealistic to think we can eliminate it entirely. It's too deeply ingrained in our nature. But we can become more mindful gossips. The key is to consider the intent and the outcome. Before you share a piece of information, ask yourself a few questions. Why am I sharing this? Is it helpful or harmful? Is it true? How would I feel if someone was sharing this information about me? Focusing on what's called prosocial gossip, sharing information to help or protect others, can be constructive. For example, warning a friend about a dishonest mechanic is gossip, but its intent is protective. Praising a colleague's hard work to your boss when they are not around is also a form of gossip, a positive one. The goal is to move away from gossip that is purely for selfish entertainment or malicious intent, and towards communication that builds healthier, more trustworthy communities. In the end, gossip is a double-edged sword. It's a testament to our profound interest in one another, a mechanism for bonding, and a tool for maintaining social order. But it's also a reflection of our insecurities, our rivalries, and our capacity for cruelty. Understanding the psychology behind why we gossip doesn't necessarily excuse its harmful forms, but it does help us understand ourselves and our social world a little better. It's a complex, messy, and deeply human behavior that's here to stay. So, the next time you find yourself about to share a juicy tidbit, maybe take a moment to think. Are you vocal grooming, or are you causing vocal harm? The choice is always yours. Thanks for watching. If you found this exploration interesting, Please give us a like, subscribe for more deep dives into human behavior, and share your thoughts on gossip in the comments below. See you next time.